Chapter 2 No One Left Behind. After her small talk with Teacher Ophelia, Mayumi returned to the classroom. In the four corners of their room, her classmates were chatting and enjoying the late afternoon. Mayumi walked quietly to her seat, still unsure about what Teacher Ophelia had said earlier. Then, she suddenly remembered Oscar's words.
Don't try to fit into someone else's mold. Create your own path.
Hope. Oscar's words gave her hope that maybe, just maybe, she didn't need to fit into the world of others. Instead, she could create her own path, one that led to a world of her own.
Hi, Mayumi, right?
A girl with glasses suddenly approached her.
I believe you still haven't found a group for the quiz bee. We just wanted to ask what your plan is.
We?
Mayumi asked.
Yes, some of our classmates want to join. However, they are quite shy and lack.
The girl didn't finish her sentence because Mayumi abruptly stood up and shouted in excitement.
Oh my gosh!
Her eyes sparkled with joy. The room went silent, so quiet that Mayumi suddenly realized what she just did. Her excitement quickly turned into embarrassment as the whole class looked at her, too shy to speak. She quietly sat down again and gave the girl an awkward smile.
Hey, it's okay.
The girl assured her.
I'm Natasha, by the way.
Hello. Well, would you like to join my group? We can study together for the quiz bee.
Mayumi asked hesitantly. Natasha smiled warmly.
Of course. We were actually looking forward to forming a group with you.
Her eyes lit up.
Really? I thought no one would want me since I'm different.
Her last words carried a hint of despair. But little did she know that Natasha understood her situation because she, too, was quite unique.
It's fine.
Natasha smiled.
So, would you like to meet after class at the library with our group mates? Don't worry, they're my friends. I'm pretty sure you'll get along with them.
Natasha reassured her once more. After class, Mayumi couldn't contain her excitement. She skipped along the hallway, humming on her way to the library. When she suddenly stopped, she suddenly remembered what Oscar had once told her.
I used to be a proud owl, flying high in the skies.
She wondered what it would like to fly and to wander through the world without judgment and expectations. She was in the middle spacing out when a voice called out.
Mayumi!
Natasha waved at her, with 5 other students standing behind, all smiling warmly.
Hi! Good thing we're just in time.
Natasha said as they approached her.
Let me introduce my friends to you. This is Axel,
The boy with glasses,
Mira,
the tall girl, probably the tallest among them.
this is Nicole,
The girl waved at her.
Tammy,
The short-haired girl,
and lastly, Leonor.
the boy who seemed a bit aloof. As they settled around the library table, the late afternoon sun filtered through the windows, casting a warm glow on their notebooks and pens. Mayumi looked around. 7 people, 7 different energies, yet something felt right. There was no pressure, no judgment, just possibility. Before they began, Natasha gently asked,
Mayumi, do you want to sit near the edge of the table so you have more space and we can reduce distractions?
It was a small adjustment, but it reflected a reasonable accommodation, modifying the environment so Mayumi could focus without being overwhelmed.
So, where do we start? Should we read articles about the coverage? Or maybe we can all study together?
Mayumi asked enthusiastically. The 6 of them looked at each other.
Well, Mayumi, we actually have different ways of learning.
Natasha said.
Like different styles?
Exactly, like me. I learn best when I can read quietly and take notes. I like structure.
Axel said. Mira chimed in.
Well, for me, I prefer movement. If I sit too long, I tend to zone out. Maybe we can act out historical scenes?
She added with a smile. Nicole, who had been quiet for a while, finally spoke.
I learned
best with visuals, diagrams, timelines, color-coded notes. They help me remember.
I like listening.
Tammy said.
Recordings, podcasts, even group discussions. I absorb better that way.
On the other hand, Leonor shared honestly.
I'm not great at memorizing, but I can build models.
So, Mayumi,
Natasha said thoughtfully.
since we all learn differently, maybe we can study in a way that works for each of us.
Mayumi's heart swelled. This wasn't just a group, it was a mosaic. Each person brought something unique, and instead of hiding their quirks, they were designing around them. What they were building was a learner-centered space where instruction are adjusted to the students.
Of course, this is amazing. We are making space for everyone.
Mayumi replied.
Natasha grinned.
Exactly! No one gets left behind. We adapt the learning to fit us, not the other way around.
Just then, Teacher Ophelia quietly entered the library to return some books. She noticed the group gathered together and approached with a warm smile.
I see preparation is happening here.
She said softly. Mayumi straightened in her seat. Teacher Ophelia observed the group dynamic for a moment before speaking gently.
If it helps,
She said.
you may divide your study time into short focus sessions.
Tammy quietly set a timer on her watch. Teacher Ophelia added.
And after each session, you may take a brief stretch or water break.
Mayumi felt relief wash over her. Teacher Ophelia then turned to the group.
You can also assign clear roles so everyone knows their task.
Teacher Ophelia looked at Mayumi kindly.
And if you need to stand while thinking, you may quietly move to the back table.
Mayumi's eyes widened slightly, but she nodded.
You know,
Teacher Ophelia began gently.
what you're doing right now reflects something very important in our country.
The group paused and looked at her.
Did you know that there are laws in our country that remind schools like ours that every learner deserves support, understanding, and accommodations? It means we don't force students to adjust to the system. We adjust the system to support the students.
Mayumi blinked.
There are laws about that?
Teacher Ophelia nodded.
Yes, it's part of something we call inclusive education. It ensures that learners with different needs are given the proper environment to thrive. That means flexible seating, varied learning strategies, breaks when needed, and recognizing each student's strength.
Nicole looked at their color-coded timeline.
So what we're doing right now?
Is inclusive education in action?
Axel finished, smiling.
And that is exactly what no one left behind truly means.
Mayumi felt something shift inside her. For so long, she thought she was just different. But now, she realized she wasn't a problem to fix. They got to work. Mira and Tammy highlighted key moments in the Philippine history, while Nicole sketched vivid timelines. Axel organized their notes into folders, and Leonor built a visual of the Katipunan's secret meeting place. Mayumi, with her boundless energy, kept everyone engaged, asking questions, connecting ideas, and cheering them on. When the timer rang, they passed, stretched, then continued. From a distance, Teacher Ophelia watched briefly before leaving the library, satisfied. Mayumi did not feel too much that afternoon. She felt understood. For the first time, the library was not a place where she had to shrink herself, but a space where learning could move with her. After days of studying, the moment they had all been waiting for finally arrived. The room was packed with excitement as their classmates filled their seats, eager for the event to begin. On the board were the words, 𝗟𝗲𝗵𝗽𝗁 celebrating history, culture, and unity. As Mayumi's group walked to the front and took their places, they noticed Carla's team across the row, known for their sharp minds and a fierce competitiveness.
Ready?
Natasha whispered. Mayumi nodded. Time flew as the quiz bee began. Applause and echoed through the auditorium as both teams answered confidently, question after question.
Who was the first president of the Philippine Republic?
Teacher Ophelia asked. The buzzer rang. Mayumi's team was the first to raise their board.
Emilio Aguinaldo!
They shouted in unison. Carlos' teammates turned to him as he stared at Mayumi's group intensely.
Which group led the revolution against Spain?
Teacher Ophelia's voice snapped Carlos out of his focus on the opposing team. Both groups rowed quickly, but this time, Carlos' team answered first.
KKK or kataas-taasang kagalang-galang na katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan.
He answered, smirking at Mayumi. Mayumi just shrugged it off as she believed in her team's capability. Round after round, both teams performed flawlessly until the scoreboard showed a tie. The final round of Quiz Bee arrived. Two teams stood at the front of the classroom. Tense and breathless, Carlos' group, long considered unbeatable, stared in disbelief. Mayumi's team had got up. Carlos muttered under his breath.
No way! They actually tied with us?
Mayumi clutched the block marker like a lifeline.
We did it!
She whispered to her groupmates.
We actually made it to the bonus round, guys!
The room buzzed with anticipation. Teacher Ophelia stepped forward, holding the bonus question card like a sacred scroll.
This will determine our champion,
she announced. Both teams scribbled furiously, hands over buzzers. Then, Carlos' team slammed theirs a split second earlier. Teacher Ophelia checked their answer.
Correct!
She said, smiling.
Carlos' team wins the Quiz Bee.
Cheers erupted. Carlos' group jumped out from their seats, high-fiving and shouting.
We're the best.
One of them yelled. Carlos turned to Mayumi with a smug grin.
Better luck next time.
He said, voice dripping with pride. Mayumi's heart sank, but she forced a smile. She walked up to Carlos and extended her hand.
Game.
She said softly. Carlos raised an eyebrow, then shook her hand.
Victory feels good,
he said with a smirk. Teacher Ophelia watched the exchange, but her eyes narrowing. Something didn't sit right. She glanced back at the answer key, her brow furrowing.
Wait a moment.
She said, stepping forward.
There's been a mistake.
The room fell silent.
The key answer. It's missing a letter, and Carlos' team didn't include it either.
Gasp echoed across the classroom. Carlos' face flushed.
What?
Teacher Ophelia turned to Mayumi's group.
You deserve a chance to answer. The correct spelling hasn't been revealed yet.
Carlos' team stood frozen. Mayumi's group scrambled to rewrite their answer. Mayumi's finger trembled. Her thoughts raced.
Did we do it right? Are we gonna fail? Am I actually doing a good job? Please, please, please make this right!
Teacher Ophelia examined the board, then looked up.
Your answer is correct.
Mayumi's group erupted in cheers. She covered her mouth, tears welling in her eyes. The room filled with applause and whistles. Even some of Carlos' teammates looked impressed. Carlos stood still, stunned. His victory had vanished. The next day, Mayumi couldn't wait to tell Rachel Rabbit everything. She skipped through the forest city, her voice animated as she recounted the spelling bee drama. Rachel giggled.
You should have seen your face when Teacher Ophelia said, correct!
I thought I was gonna faint.
Mayumi laughed. Back home, an unexpected knock echoed through the house. It was Carlos with his parents. Mayumi wasn't there. Carlos wandered outside, bored. Then when he saw her emerging from the forest, talking to a rabbit, his eyes widened.
Is that a talking rabbit?
He ducked behind a bush, watching, but Mayumi spotted him.
Carlos?
She called out. Carlos bolted toward the house. Mayumi chased after him. Inside, Carlos turned to her, breathless.
I saw you with that rabbit. I'm telling your parents.
No, please!
Mayumi begged.
You don't understand. They're not dangerous.
Carlos crossed his arms.
You broke the rule. Talking to forest creatures is forbidden.
They're my friends.
Mayumi said, her voice trembling.
They helped me when no one else did.
Their voice rose. From the other room, their parents rushed in.
What's going on?
Mayumi's mother demanded. Mayumi shot Carlos a warning glare.
Nothing, we were just...
Carlos snapped.
She's been sneaking into the forest, talking to animals. I saw her.
Silence. Mayumi's parents stared at her.
Is this true?
Her mother asked. She looked down, fingers twitching. Her voice barely a whisper. Carlos' parents ushered him out. As he left, he glanced back. Mayumi looked shattered. His smirk faded. Mayumi sat on the couch, her parents standing over her.
We are so disappointed in you.
Her father said.
You know the rules.
Her mother added.
That place is dangerous, full of bad influences.
Mayumi's voice cracked.
They're not bad. They're kind and they listen.
Her mother shook her head.
You've crossed the line.
Mayumi was grounded. No forest, no Rachel, no freedom. She didn't cry. She felt like she always did. At school, at home, outside, she was always the one who felt too much. And now, even the one place that made her feel safe was being taken away. Her fingers curled into her sleeves. Her heart felt like it was being carved out.
They don't see me. They never do.
She stared out of the window. The forest was barely visible in the distance. A place of magic, a place of belonging, and now forbidden. Mayumi wasn't allowed to go anywhere else, especially to Forest City. She can only go to school or places under her parents' supervision. Every time Mayumi passed by the forbidden forest, she couldn't help but reminisce about the moments when someone finally understood her. With a sad but hopeful expression, Mayumi gazed out the car window. Fog drifted across the trees as she thought about the friends she had been longing for to see again.
I didn't win that quiz bee.
She whispered to herself.
Maybe I could have just lived my life quietly. With Rachel, I guess.
Passing by a place she loved also come with a heart-crushing ache. The yearning to be seen once again, to feel grounded and supported by the citizens of the forest city.
You're learning this piano very well, Mayumi.
Oscar the owl said as he watched her play the piano melody he had taught her. Mayumi came home from school. After helping her dad with the family's errands, her mother Flora called her impatiently from inside the house.
Mayumi!
Her mother shouted, waiting in the living room with a paper on her hand.
Hi.
Mayumi's replied in a flat, tired voice, the way she's been talking ever since she was grounded. Flora let out a sigh and signaled her to sit beside her.
Last week, I received your quiz paper. Some barely passing.
Flora said, her voice heavy.
What did we do wrong to make you end up like this? Failing? Rarely doing your homework? Why do you seem so unmotivated that you're allowed yourself to get grades with line of 7 and 8? I don't know if you're doing this just to get your way or if it's because of your condition. I love you, but what you're doing isn't right.
A tear down Mayumi's cheek. As the mother spoke, Mayumi could feel the weight of her disappointment. Compulsively, Mayumi grabbed the quiz paper from her mom's hand and ran to her bedroom.
Hey guys, I got a higher score than Mayumi now.
Her classmates shouted from across the classroom. The others cheered. Someone added,
Everything's back to normal.
Mayumi froze, watching from afar.
They're happy that I'm failing.
she thought. While they celebrated, she felt the complete opposite, a deep ache that she couldn't explain.
I'm trying so hard to live without Forest City. I swear I am.
Mayumi thought to herself. After the confrontation, Mayumi realized she had been failing most of her subjects. She suddenly remembered the goal she had set at the start of the year to attain academic excellence and make her efforts count. But now, she was slowly beginning to accept that she had lived without Rachel and the other animals from the Forbidden City. Being alone had taken away her confidence, her drive to succeed.
I feel awful, and it's unbearable.
She whined as she fell asleep, once again leaving her homework unfinished.